Let's say, first of all, the war between Israel and Hezbollah did not start just last week by the Pager attack or even by the Beirut attack. The war has already been going on since the 8th of October last year. One day after October 7 happened, Hezbollah started to attack Israel, and Israel had to respond. Of course, it was not as intense as we are seeing right now. I mean, safely say that the two parties were committed to keep the rules of engagement, to clash with each other, but keeping in mind that there is a threshold that they should not pass. What happened recently especially after the attack on the football court by Hezbollah the attack on the football court by Hezbollah, I mean, in northern Israel. After that, the war between Israel and Hezbollah started to take a very serious shift or a very serious momentum toward this escalation. And the Pager's attack is just one sign of this escalation. I don't think this will calm down anytime soon. From Hezbollah perspective, they are now the forefront of Iran. They feel compelled to take revenge for the assassination of Haniyeh, for the assassination of some of their leaders also. From Israel's perspective, Israel feels like there is some kind of unfinished war between Israel and Hezbollah that happened in 2006 and did not end with either party really winning the war at that time. So Israel feels that it needs, right now, is somehow compelled to complete this war and make sure that Hezbollah is fully defeated. Also, it's very important to think of it in terms of what's happening in Gaza, because as all Hezbollah leaders are saying, including Hassan Nasrallah himself, they always tie what they are doing with Israel in the north, or their attacks on Israel in the north, to Israel operations in Gaza. So somehow these two are linked, because defeating Hamas must be paralleled with defeating Hezbollah if Israel really wants to have a more secure and more stable future. Look, if we continued on this escalation ladder, at one point or another, Israel will have to do a ground operation. But of course, Israel should right now do everything possible to avoid this ground operation for several reasons. One, it's a very high cost on Israel. Iran is not fighting with its own soldiers. Iran is fighting with proxies, with people that are disposable, with militants, I mean, that are disposable. But Israel is fighting with its own people, with its own youth, with its own soldiers. So it's a very high cost on Israel. So Israel should do everything it can, at this stage at least, to avoid a land operation in the north. Also, it's a high cost on the population on the north, actually. It's all the threats they have gone through in the past few months, the displacement of many Israeli citizens in the north, all these things that should be taken into consideration. However, if Israel has to go to the point that it really has to do this land operation, I think Israel is already ready to do that. We, in the past few days, we've seen tanks moving from the south to the north of Israel, which means Israel is already preparing for this scenario. How Israel can control Hezbollah without a land operation, I think these smart, technologically advanced ways of attacking Hezbollah is already leading to the defeat of Hezbollah in a very cinematic way that nobody expected, including even the United States, the biggest security ally for Israel. And also, I think one day history will mention this as, will give full credit to Israel for starting something really new in this type of warfare. So I think Israel needs to make use of its technological capabilities, technological comparative advantage, I would say, in order to attack Hezbollah. I think the pager attacks that happened recently and the walkie-talkies and so has already led to disruption in the communication system of Hezbollah, and thus is making it even harder on Hezbollah to operate right now, which is a step in the right direction. So now it feels, first of all, let me tell you, okay, Hezbollah is not popular neither in Lebanon nor in Arab countries. You will be surprised by how many people in the Arab world, in almost all the Arab countries, are very excited to see Hezbollah being defeated by Israel, are very excited by seeing Israel strong enough to block Hezbollah at this stage from going further, or block, let's say, not Hezbollah, block Iran in the form of Hezbollah from going further. And this tells you that Hezbollah is somehow isolated in this situation. It cannot rely, for example, on the Lebanese people to give them intelligence about a potential Israeli approaching the borders, potential Israeli attack of some kind or so. So they will remain isolated. Now their communication system is damaged because of the pagers attack. Israel can easily, and has done this several times, target the leaders at their homes, at their hideouts, at places that no one expected. And also in all the attacks that Israel made so far in Lebanon, inside Lebanon, I mean at Hezbollah operatives, it was very careful not to harm civilians in the process, which is also a good indication that very little of Lebanese people and very little of Arabs would want to show support to Hezbollah in any way, similar, for example, to what happened in Gaza with Hamas.